to SPL Round 1 Finals with Valdez and Tasteless tonight. We are about to jump into game number 3. Right now, SKT is up 2-0. We have yet to see who Jin Air is going to choose for their next player to come out and try to test Myungshik, who is on a roll tonight, already getting 2 kills against both Cure and Rogue.
I gotta say, man, I don't know exactly how Jin Air comes back. Myungshik is looking very strong, okay? I thought there was a very good chance Cure could take him on, win a game. That's kind of what Jin Air needed to start this off. What Jin Air really didn't need was in game 2 for Rogue to go down. We were talking about this on break. I don't know if that was the right decision to bring him out. It seems like they've almost layered their players who are going to come out based off of just overall accomplishments. And unfortunately, if Myungshik is just slightly better, then they're already now halfway there to winning. So, I mean, this is going to be a lot of heavy lifting here from Maru, presumably from SOS, if they are going to come back and win this.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough stretch here. Hopefully Maru can take out Myungshik to start, but then he has a lot of roadblocks ahead of him. Said he was scared to play against Dark, not so happy against Zerg in general.
I guess the question we have to ask ourselves is how strong is SOS against Zerg right now?
Yeah, that's a big part of this whole matchup.
Let's see what happens. We're now going into game number 3. SK Telecom with a 2-0 lead against Jin Air Green Wings. Let's go. In the upper right, in the orange, already winning 2 games so far, he is Myungshik. In the bottom left, the weight of his team on his shoulders, Maru. A lot of pressure here.
Yeah, and Maru definitely heavily favored in this one up against Myungshik. I mean, he has historically just bopped Protoss after Protoss. Myungshik coming out here, I think he's like -8 right now against Mara. Some stat I read.
I've never heard it worded like that he's -8.
Well, yeah, I mean, like he's lost 8 more games, and or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
The point is he's way behind in terms of his overall record against Maru, and Maru is like, I think his versus Protoss is his best matchup, even right now.
He's a Protoss killer. He's also a Terran killer as well, but I think right now especially he's just very dangerous to most Protoss players out there. This guy has the ability to hold off all sorts of harass. He's very solid in the late game, got a lot of good pushing. He's also able to split his attention and force the opposing player to juggle in a way that I think we really never saw Gumiho do as effectively.
Yeah.
He's just able to hit so many different places at once.
And that's kind of the name of the game for Legacy of the Void. It's all about multitasking.
Yeah.
You want to be at 3-4 places at once if possible. Obviously, you don't want to split your army too thin, but if you can be harassing 3 different places effectively, then obviously you're going to be getting ahead of your opponent. And especially on a map like this, Orbital Shipyard, you have that backdoor base, very open to harassment if your opponent is not ready for it. Even if he is ready for it, 1 turret sometimes isn't enough. We could see some Warp Prison play definitely out of Myungshik, something I would expect, especially out of a guy like Myungshik.
Yeah, whoa. Looks like we have a Baneling toy and a probe. Stuffed probe. Tell you something, man. I'm scared of the stuffed probe, man. I don't want that sleeping in my bed at night, man. I might get cannon rushed in my sleep, man.
Oh yeah.
I look under the bed and there's 3 cannons warping in. I'm like, oh no.
That's the big question. Why would you bring that into your house in the first place?
That's right.
Probes are dangerous. Any Terran or Zerg, even Protoss player would say that.
That's true, man. The probe is a scary unit, man. So, as this game goes forward, let's see if Myungshik decides to do any kind of, heavy harass here, or if he's going to play a more passive game. Because sometimes when you open up with these harass builds, and Terran is completely ready for it, and I mean, if there was a Terran who was going to be ready for it, it would be Maru. If you do that and you don't do anything, then the Terran does end up getting a slight advantage, since you did invest in all these attacking units generally you're getting your third a little bit later. Maybe Myunchik wants to just try to get an expansion up and play the passive game. You also got to keep in mind, Myunchik kind of already did his job so far.
Oh, yeah.
If SKT is truly the best team, Myunchik already did more than his share to come out on top here.
Definitely agree with you. I think he only really needed to get one win because they had other answers for Rogue, for Maru, for SOS. And Myunchik, I mean, he's done his job. He's got two more than they need out of him, as you were saying. And if he could get another kill here,
oh my god! I mean,
like,
that's just it.
It's like, okay, this is the Myunchik, so like, thanks for taking all the spotlight.
That's when we officially change the day, March 26th, to Myunchik Appreciation Day, the day that the great Myunchik actually took out an entire team of Jin Air Green Wings players. But yeah, I mean, if he wins here, it's like, oh my god, are you kidding me? SKT is so much better than every other team. Because Myunchik is, I mean, he's really good, right? But he's like not the star SKT player, you know?
Yeah, definitely true. Now, we do have Myunchik going for this third Nexus relatively safely. It's not like super rushed out here. He goes for both Blink and a Robotics here for Observers first. And then he goes for that third. Very easy to defend on this map.
Yep.
Orbital Shipyard, a very defensive map on 3 bases. Protoss is usually pretty happy to play on this map in general.
So we have that Nexus coming down here now. It looks like we're gearing up for a long late game, Valdez, as both these guys clearly very confident in their mechanical ability to bring this one home. I'm really curious to see how well Myunchik can play against Maru in the late game, you know? He definitely handled himself very well against Rogue. I mean, Rogue is somebody we also identify as somebody who normally wants to get into the late game. He can cheese a little bit, but and Myunchik was clearly on another level. With army positioning, with the way he teched, the way he engaged every fight, it was pretty clean.
Yeah, basically the only mistake that Rogue made in that game was having his lurkers out of position. And morphing right in front of the Protoss. Just like bad timing, bad positioning, and Myunchik took full advantage of that. Now, I kind of fear for him against Maru because Maru's not going to be the player that just, throws units away or throws a dropper away. He's usually pretty meticulous about when he attacks, where he attacks. And so far, funnily enough, just a very macro-heavy build for Maru. Not a lot of harassment coming out just yet.
Okay, the Stalkers are coming out. Yeah, neither player's really touched each other so far. It's kind of crazy. I'm still not quite used to it here in like Legacy of the Void, is just how quickly the game picks up. For instance, if this was Heart of the Swarm, do you realize how long we would have been casting before we get to where the game looks like this?
Like we got the factory coming down now.
And now it's like, it's been 6 minutes and we're this deep into a game, right? They're already about to be at about 100 supply. It's pretty wild. So the Warp Prism's coming out here, and it seems as though Myunchik wants to put some pressure on here.
Yeah, he's got 5 extra gateways out on the map. He's gone up to a total of 8 here in just a bit. 8 warp gates. Is going to have +1 finishing up at the same time. So he's going to have 8 warp gates, +1, and a bunch of Blink Stalkers looking to pressure the front.
It looks like he actually wants to try to bust this. This is going to be really interesting. Now okay, there's a scan here. This is normally a bad sign when you don't see any army. +1's attack's about to finish, but same with a 1-1 here. Or excuse me, +1 weapons here for Terran. Beginning to push forward now. It looks like he's going to be able to drive them out and actually force a liftoff here. This is huge.
He's getting so much damage, and all these SCVs are all alone. He's going to try to pick some of them up. Nice play by Maru, but Myunchik is getting that damage done. He has his third base out. He hasn't, he's not getting the gas at his thirds, but he's got 60 probes, and now he's going to deny this much mining for this long of a time while getting damage done. This is huge for Myunchik.
This is insane. He's making this look easy. Maru really underestimating the possibility of right in the mid-game, some kind of timing attack here, and he forced him to relocate. And keep in mind, there's a warp prism not far, it's just a little bit north of the backdoor base here for Maru, and he could actually start warping into the expansion. All right, he scans, he sees, there's only Stalkers here. Myunchik quickly blinks away as Maru continues to be in pursuit.
No concussive shells just yet, but he waits for the army to move out, and he comes in with the drop. But Maru very prepared here. A missile turret and a bunker with 4 Marines, so easily going to shut that down.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did not manage to run away from where that bunker was. Now, with the Liberators out here, it's going to be much easier for him to keep this expansion alive. But at the same time, if Protoss manages to get his Stalkers in the right position, and he can blink in there, he can take out those Liberators pretty easily. Terran really has to make a lot more Liberators before they can truly feel safe against anything that Protoss can throw at him. And from there, it's really about then how does Terran move out, right?
Yeah. Now, Myungsik going for Storm here, not going to commit to any Disruptor play, just going to try to get out Storm very, very fast. I love the tempo play that he's using. You know, just delay the Terran mining at his third base for a bit. With that, you know, just get a bunch of gates to put on that pressure and then immediately transition into some heavy tech. And at the same time you harass, you keep the Terran in the base, and now we got a bunch of Adepts coming in. The War Prism is going to go down.
Yeah,
but
big
so
play
far,
there. Takes out that War Prism. I thought maybe Protoss was going to try to attack into the front here with this. But instead he's just keeping Terran back in his base, keeping Terran as busy as possible. You know, that Cyclone's so handy to just try to take out those War Prisms.
You're exactly right. This is the whole point of the drop. He's not looking to get a massive amount of damage done. You notice he keeps on making War Prisms. He wants to keep Maro in his base for an incredibly long amount of time. We already have a huge amount of bio out on the map, but he's bought enough time now for Storm and a fourth base coming down. This is a big map. It's going to take Maro a while to punish this.
Let's see. He might try to push up here through the top center. I do feel like there's a little bit more meat to the Terran's army at this point in time, especially if he can fight out in the open here. He's going to go ahead and blink back there, and we do have a few force fields coming down. No storms casted just yet.
Waiting, it seems like, to bunch up the Terran army and just not casting those storms. And at the same time, it looked like he was controlling the drop, and that's why now he's going to go for the storms.
Now, he can keep running away. Protoss is actually okay continuously retreating here as long as he still has energy for Psystorm. In fact, I guess he doesn't have any more storms available at this point in time here. And he's going to lose the War Prism without dropping any of those out here.
Yeah, Myungsik struggling a little bit with his multitasking, but he is going to win the fight in the middle of the map. He did lose a lot of his High Templar, though. He's going to have to remake those.
Yeah, he needs a lot more of those. But those good storms he blanketed down did do enough damage to really weather that Terran army. You know, Terran, when they get... It's funny because you can get so many units healing at once where there's a point where if there's enough splash damage, like enough storms, for instance, blanketing that, there's no way that everything can be healed in time. And that's when Terran, a lot of times, the very best ones, you'll see they trigger a turnaround right there. Now, there's going to be a massive drop over here into the main.
Yeah, look at this. We got pylons literally littering the right side of the map.
Literally
littering everywhere. And he's got 5 observers at the same time. So Myungsik sees this coming a mile away.
Now, let's see if Maro can get in or maybe even just get out with this, because with the Stalkers out here, if he gets in right under those medevacs, he could gun them down very easily. Oh, nice storms here. Dropping down there. That's forcing those Marauders to back up. But, you know, when you have this many Marauders, it's a lot scarier than if it's just Marines.
Fighting at 2 places now. Maro getting a nice concave, but the Guardian Shield and all those upgraded Adepts doing a nice number there. Just not enough bio. At the same time, Maro not able to push in towards the third base with that small group of Marauders.
I do want to point out, we're at the phase of the game. This is normally where Maro is his strongest, but so far, actually, Myungsik's done a really good job of holding this off pretty much everywhere. This might be the turning point, though. He's dropping a lot of his Marauders down here. Meanwhile, a huge attack down here. So many Adepts underneath the Liberation Zone, but the Stalkers blink forward and gun him down.
The Widowmine's getting a huge shot there, and all these medevacs are keeping his bio alive. It looks like Maro is going to win that fight and drop the main at the same time.
Okay, we have some Templars dropping down here. He's trying to storm as much of this as he possibly can. The Adepts not all synced up and attacking at the same time. Stalkers coming in here to try to reinforce. Blinking underneath, takes out the medevac, takes out 2 actually. But is this going to be enough here? Can Myungsik actually hang on to this expansion?
Another storm coming down and a warp in. He needs those units right now. Maro just parading across the map to try to end this game.
I think he might just barely have enough. He's starting to close in. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Actually, yeah, I think Maro might just have taken this game in the last second.
Looks like it just barely. Those upgrades helping him out so much. 2-2 to 1-1. Just attacking from both sides is going to be enough. GG.
Can you hear me okay, Valdez?
I cannot, Tasteless,
I think
but
they
it's
turned
okay.
our mics down. All right, nicely done there. A very important win there for Maro. I think most assuredly we can have these, we're going to have a Zerg coming up here next. And also in production, Jay, if you can fix our audio, I cannot hear myself. Can you hear me okay?
I turned up my headset here, so
I think occasionally they've turned down my mic because I'm so damn loud, but it's play-by-plays. But right now I cannot actually. All right, that's a little bit better. I don't know if that's. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I feel like
Sorry.
we're getting lower at the
audio.
same time. It's okay.
It's okay.
We'll survive.
We'll survive. Sorry about that, guys. It was a small sound issue. I suddenly couldn't hear myself anymore. Okay. Anyways, who do they pick, Valdez? I think you know the answer. Talk to me.
Well, Tasteless, you said it before. It's got to be a Zerg. It's Prion Terraces for game number 4. It's Maru in the booth. I think this is when you send out Dark. Just put him in here. Shut Maru down. Don't let him get any more kills.
It's
Take
time
the win.
to go to the dark side. Now, what if Maru wins that? Then it's 2-2, man. Then you have to pick Sue.
Well, I mean, if Dark is able to, if Maru is able to win a game against Dark, then everything changes, the whole dynamic. I mean, he is the counter player for Maru, and if he loses while failing to counter Maru, then just, I don't know, man. You got to rethink everything, because then maybe Maru's on his game tonight in TVC too.
All right, we're going to be going into that match shortly here. Now, there's always a chance they don't pick the Zerg. I don't know. I mean, they might have a different mind game here.
Well, I don't know. With the combination of Prion Terraces too, it's like the Zerg map, you know. Maru in the booth. I'm like, if you're not picking a Zerg, then I don't know, like, what is going on.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, there's always, these teams always have a little bit more dirt on each other than we'll ever know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
Let's see. Of course, this is like deliberation live right now about who they're going to send out. This isn't necessarily pre-mapped out, but let's see who they pick, man. They still have a few more minutes on the clock before they have to send that player out. Yeah. If they didn't send a Zerg, who do you think it would be?
I don't think you want to send Innovation. He lost to Maru in a best of 1. Maru heavily shut him down. If it's not a Zerg, then honestly, I don't know. Maybe you want to send another Protoss? I think it has to be a Zerg here, Tasteless. I cannot answer your question. It is not valid, Tasteless.
It is not a valid question,
It has to be a Zerg.
I mean, yeah, I think you're basically right, though. I mean, you have to have a Zerg just based off of how Maru's been playing. You know, in the last, this quarter of the year, I guess you could say for StarCraft 2, he has had a harder time against Zergs. It's funny, though. He's so good against Protoss.
Yeah, he shuts down the Protosses all the time.
There have been so many Terrans that have been horrible against Protoss, but he definitely just seems to know how to last. I mean, let's not forget, Myunchik actually forced that command center onto the high ground.
Yeah. Myunchik was playing so good, but...
Yeah. And there was no direct response from Terran. I mean, he had to take it.
Yeah. And some other Terrans would be like, no, I'll try to fight. I got to hold my third. But Maru immediately, that split-second decision where he's like, no, I can't hold this. I got to go up the ramp right now. And he saved as much as he possibly could, which helped him out a lot, too.
And let's face it, man. Nobody wants to go back on the high ground. Ideally, you want to fight that and win. But he just looked at it and said, okay.
Yeah.
He had the right unit comp. Time to play from a disadvantage for the next 5-7 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And he did that. It was really nicely done.
Maru's very comfortable doing
Valdez,
that, too.
While we're on camera, let's not forget, we have bracelets down here. If you're an SK Telecom fan, or if you're, mine's stuck up in my shirt.
Yeah, I had that problem too.
Green Wings fan, let the rings combine. Junior powers up.
Hey, what about some SKT power up? Come on.
There we go. That's how they work.
Yeah. Powering up for
the
SKT.
Sound comes out of the rings. It's not from my mouth, okay?
No.
It just controls me like I'm a ventriloquist dummy and my mouth starts to move, but it's really coming from there. So, yeah, we got these cool things going on. We haven't gotten many shots of the audience, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, you know. We had one at the beginning of the last game, which is pretty cool, but that only shows like half the audience because I feel like the second floor is almost more packed than
about
the
this
first floor.
studio. You know, it's such a beautiful studio, but it's actually physically impossible to capture how many people are here.